Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into something absolutely huge. We're looking at the 2025-26 season to settle a massive debate. Who is the absolute best midfielder in the world right now? We're taking four world-class players, tearing down their numbers, the context around them, and their exact play styles to finally crown a king. Let's get into it. So, I want you to put yourself in the manager's shoes for a second. What exactly makes the perfect modern midfielder? Are you looking for a tempo dictator, the guy pulling the strings? Or maybe you need a pure defensive powerhouse? How about a clutch star for those big moments? Or a utility man who can just do it all? It's basically the million-dollar puzzle every top club is trying to solve right now. Here is how we're going to break this all down today. First up, Pedri, the master playmaker. Then Declan Rice, the champion engine. Third, we'll dive into Madrid's paradox with Bellingham and Valverde. And finally, the moment of truth, our final verdict and rankings. All right, part one, Pedri, the master playmaker.
We've got to start in Spain. People call him Barcelona's metronome, and honestly, that phrase just hits the nail on the head. Pedri was the absolute creative hub of a Barcelona side that achieved something completely historic this year. They won La Liga, clinching it with a 2-0 Clásico win over Real Madrid, by the way, grabbed the Supercopa, and became the first Spanish team in 40 years to win every single home league game. Every single one. And right there at the center, dictating the heartbeat of the entire team, was Pedri.
Now check out this number, because it's actually insane. A 90.45% passing accuracy in the Champions League. When you pair that kind of precision with his 9 assists in La Liga and 2 more in the UCL, he racked up a career-high 14 total goal involvements across 43 appearances. The guy was just constantly available. He'd receive the ball under ridiculous pressure, turn, and somehow always find that perfect vertical pass to break the opposition's lines. But look, nobody is perfect, right? On one hand, you have his elite ability to control the game's rhythm. His press resistance is off the charts. His first touch literally buys him extra time. But we have to talk about the flip side. He only scored 2 league goals all season, so he isn't really that late-arriving goal threat in the box. And, let's be real, he can get bullied by ultra-physical midfields. He just doesn't have the tackling or interception power of some other guys. It just goes to show that having elite playmaking means your team structure has to cover for those physical trade-offs. Moving on to part 2, Declan Rice, the champion engine. So, we are shifting gears from the artistic rhythm of Spain over to the absolute physical battleground of the Premier League. Worth every penny, that's what they say about him. And look, when you carry a £105 million price tag, the expectations are just astronomical. But Rice, he was the absolute driving force for Arsenal. His durability is wild. He started almost every single league game, and his leadership anchored the best defensive record in the league, pushing Arsenal to their first Premier League title in 22 long years. Just a massive, massive achievement. And here is the stat that really proves his dominance. 241. That is his total number of duels won this season. It's staggering. He is an absolute physical freak and a true box-to-box dominator. Aerial duels, ground duels, tackles, blocks, you name it, Rice is winning it. But again, looking at the whole picture here, yes, he's a defensive powerhouse who also happened to lead his team with 145 ball carries and 68 line-breaking passes. But we do need to point out his ceiling creativity. With 5 assists and 4 goals off of 40 shots, his technical risk-taking is, well, it's a bit conservative. When a match is screaming for a risky killer through ball, that's not always his go-to move. His creativity just doesn't quite match up to a pure playmaker. All right, part 3, Madrid's paradox, Bellingham and Valverde. Now this is where things get really fascinating. What happens when world-class individual brilliance completely collides with structural failure? We're calling this the Madrid paradox. For the first time since the 2020-21 season, Real Madrid won absolutely 0 trophies. Nothing. They got knocked out of the Copa del Rey by a second-division team, lost the Supercopa to Barca, and fell to Bayern in the Champions League. But amidst all this chaos and managerial turnover, both Jude Bellingham and Federico Valverde were stuck in the exact same frustrating situation, yet they both produced incredible, world-class individual seasons. Let's focus on Jude Bellingham for a second. Now, yes, he had a bit of an output dip this specific year, managing just 6 league goals since he was often overshadowed by the team's tactical mess. But if you zoom out and look at his cumulative 2-season output, wow, 22 goals and 18 assists over 2 years. That raw power solidifies his status without a doubt. There's a reason he was named a FIFPro Men's World 11 superstar. And you've got to talk about his big game temperament. Bellingham is basically the dictionary definition of clutch. I mean, scoring the winner against Juventus in the UCL, getting the decisive strike against Barcelona, and who could forget that iconic Euro 2024 overhead kick? The guy never hides when the pressure's on. He's incredibly versatile, playing the 8, the 10, even a false 9. But that emotional intensity can sometimes boil over into recklessness. He's definitely prone to discipline issues, picking up yellows and the occasional red card that leaves his team in a real bind. Then, on the flip side, we have Federico Valverde. This guy offered just relentless, non-stop running and two-way excellence across 4 totally different positions. Right midfield, central midfield, right back, right wing, and he did it without a single complaint. He made the La Liga team of the season for the 3rd year in a row, recorded an 89.39% passing accuracy in the Champions League, and he even bagged the UCL goal of the season. Although, to be totally fair, his temper was tested too, which ended up costing him a €500K fine after a training ground altercation.
So looking at these two side by side, it's wild. They're like perfect opposites living under the exact same roof. Bellingham is your clutch superstar. He's a guy reliant on those massive, game-changing flashbulb moments. Valverde, on the other hand, is the ultimate reliable soldier. He's given you a solid 8 out of 10 performance every single week, but his ultimate ceiling was really held back by the team's overall lack of balance.
Okay, part 4, the final verdict and rankings. It is finally time to settle the debate. We put together this comparative matrix, and it really lays everything bare. You can see exactly where each player dominates and where they drop precious points. Check out passing and vision. Pedri is literally untouchable with a 9.5. But then you drop down to defensive work and physicality, and Declan Rice just surges right ahead with a 9.5 and a 9.0. Bellingham absolutely owns the big game impact category with a 9.5. And Valverde, he just shows incredible balance across the board. But look at that very bottom row, team silverware. That creates a massive, massive divide between the guys in Spain and England and our duo over in Madrid. So breaking down that matrix, here are our category winners, because honestly, each of these guys completely masters their specific domain. Pedri is hands down the best pure playmaker. Bellingham grabs best big game player because of that undeniable clutch gene. Valverde easily takes most versatile for his tactical flexibility and total selflessness. But the best overall for the 2025-26 season, that goes to Declan Rice. It just confirms that the title of best really depends on what a specific team structurally demands. But at the end of the day, someone has to top the list. And here it is, our official 2025-26 hierarchy. Coming in at number 4 is Jude Bellingham with an 8.5 out of 10. Despite all those incredible flashbulb moments, his overall output did dip during a really disappointing collective season for Madrid. At number 3, we have Federico Valverde with an 8.7. He's the perfect soldier, really only penalized because of his team's trophyless year and not having a primary tactical hub role. A runner-up, at number 2, is Pedri with a 9.0. His artistic brilliance is just undeniable, but he does need to add more goals to his game. Which means taking the crown at number 1 with a 9.2 rating is Declan Rice. His complete champion skill set, elite defensive numbers, and irreplaceable leadership literally resulted in history-making, league-winning hardware. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Does team structure ultimately dictate an individual player's legacy? Think about it for a second. Would Valverde or Bellingham be sitting at number 1 right now if they had played inside the highly structured, title-winning environments of this year's Arsenal or Barcelona? It's a huge what-if. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.